That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. All right. Hello, everybody. How's everybody feeling? Everybody's feeling. All right. There we go. There we go. Hey, hey. Miss Yolanda.
Hello.
Brother Ballard.
All right.
Sister Palmer.
Hello.
Sister Jones.
Hey.
Everybody doing all right? Can everybody hear me good, first of all?
Everybody good?
All right. I need to get this. What I'm trying to do is on Facebook, I must say, go to Facebook, like our page, and then go to YouTube. Is that right? And then you hit the button subscribe, and then click that little bell.
You have to tell them which channel if they're not on that channel.
What's the name of the channel then? Tell them.
It's your channel, sir.
I tell you what I would like to do. I got a picture. I need to get somebody to give me all that stuff. I can put it on the screen while they write it down. So I'll get all that before. So, but anyway, all right. Last week we had a good discussion. I thought it was real good. Had a different point of views, different feedback. But what I like about it is it sparked conversation. I think that's the main thing. Just get some conversation going. Some people headed in the right direction who are headed in the wrong direction. There's so many questions about relationships, the challenges of relationships. And we did a survey, comprised a few questions. And what I'm going to do is, in this survey, I really don't want to I hear what we're saying about the challenge. These questions derive from our conversation last week. Is that right? And coming up with some solutions, because we can talk about the struggles all year long, but if we don't have solutions to try to get to a certain point, more people are going to be divorcing. That's all that I can say. So let's talk like this. Let's introduce ourselves. Start with Yolanda here with us last week, and then we'll hit Pastor Ballard, Miss Bomer, and then Miss Jones. Let's just say just about whatever you want to say about yourself and where you at on this topic. You don't have to talk a lot about it, but let's start with Yolanda.
Yes, I believe Jennifer, you having issues? Okay, yes, I think she was having issues. Am I introducing myself? I'm sorry, what did you ask me?
Introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Yolanda Tyler. I am the founder of Resalia One. I am from Paris, Tennessee, and I reside in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area now.
Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Well, shout out to Texas. My good friend Damian Durs there, executive pastor at Friendship with Dr. Freddie Haynes.
Oh, okay.
So also a classmate of me and Timothy.
Yeah.
Well, fellow alum.
Yes, sir.
So I'm Daryl. I'm right here. Daryl A. Ballard II, pastor, Andrews Tabernacle, Lebanon. Executive pastor, assistant to the pastor at St. Luke's CME Nashville. Married 14 years, 4 boys, 22, 21, 19, and 9. Married to my beautiful wife, Kiani. Amen.
All right. All right. Amen. That's what's up. Miss Jones?
Yes, I am not a stranger. This is my 4th time being on here. But I am the founder of I Love and Liz K Designs. I raised my nephew. I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I'm just glad to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. Your 4th time on here. How many times you been on here, Yolanda?
Is this my 2nd time?
The 2nd time? Dr. Ballard, how many times you been on here?
I think it's my 3rd time.
Oh, man. Listen, y'all, Miss Jones is beating everybody.
You burning the incense over there, bro? What you got going on over there?
Man, thank God that somebody knew.
Amen. I see the aroma of the. Okay. It'll be a sweet savor to the Lord's nose. Amen. Just so they don't get it twisted, Doctor.
Hey, I had to do this just in case they thought that I had some smoke or something. Can you see that? Yeah. I said, uh-oh, you know how people think. It don't matter. I'm grown. But anyway.
I got your back.
We did this survey, and I want Yolanda, since she was here last week, I want her to go just a little bit deeper in that survey as we go over the questions. Tell the people exactly the reason why we did these questions and what we're trying to do. We have an objective because we have married and single people. I guess, I don't know. All I'm saying is we're talking to several different people, and we really want to be able to bless somebody. So these great minds are going to tell you, but can you tell them how many people took the survey and that kind of?
Yes, so we got over 100 people to take the survey. And the reason why we came up with this survey is because we had spoke about some of the challenges that are occurring in dating, today. So instead of us coming up with solutions or maybe guessing, why not have data and statistics to show, hey, this is what's really going on? And I know I've actually had a couple of people reach out to me and make the statement that some of these questions were vague or they can go either way. Well, the meaning behind that was because, yes, you can go either way, but which one is more important to you or you feel as though is more valid or whatever the case may be. So yes, so we had over 100 people to participate. So I think that's a good amount, actually.
Great amount, 100 people to participate. And we'll start the first question. And I guess the way we'll do, just feel free to say what you want to say. What we want to do on here, though, is last week we had a lot of people chiming in, So what we're trying to do is in this conversation as we're talking and um, as we're discussing this, we're going to let some people in. Now, we already have one comment that says perception is everything. And I don't know if that's from the incense or if that's from, but I've heard people say that perception is everything. So when we get through with this, what we're going to do is we will make sure to let some people come in and I guess give their thoughts. So we'll go Miss Jones, Pastor Ballard, and then Miss Tyler. And I think the best way to do this is because they are male and female questions. We will ask the brothers those questions, and then I would ask the three ladies the other questions. Is that the best way to do? I have no comment. I'm neutral. Now, are you? Can you hear us pretty good, Miss Bomer?
Yes, I'm here. It sounds funny to me and it may click me off. I don't know what's happening. So,
Let's do the best you can. What we got, we good. You sound pretty good. All right, Miss. Uh, Let me try something here. Okay. I tell you what, until you get ready to speak, if you want to put it on mute, you can. But it's I think you're fine. All right, Miss Jones. Oh, are we ready?
Yeah.
Hey, would you date somebody with less income than you? The less income than you.
Yes, I would.
I guess that's what they meant when they was giving the feedback or go in depth because I would wonder. I mean, what's up with the income? Why is that a factor? Is that or we can Mr. Bomer, go into that. Why is it important for you that you would date somebody with less income?
it is
I
hard. I'm sorry, but it is hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear?
It's hard to
Okay.
hear you, Pastor Davis,
Is it hard to
but
hear
I
me?
can
Is
hear
that
everybody else.
okay? So
Yeah,
what
it
about y'all? Can y'all hear me?
sounds like you're breaking
Okay.
everybody else.
All right, Sister Joan, go ahead and finish that question, and I'm going to change locations.
Okay. So I feel that it's not about the size of his wallet to me. I mean, money's not as important to me, but I mean, if we could come together and have the income together, it will work. And then you have to think about, like we said last week, about the location and where he's at, where he's located. You know, he may not be able to make six figures in a small town like where I'm from, Paris, Tennessee.
Okay,
All
so
right.
let me chime in. So on that question, right? There was okay, so let me set this up. So there was a survey on my Instagram story, and then there was another survey that was created that was linked to Facebook. Okay. So 88% of the ladies that answered the survey on Instagram stated yes, they would date a man that make less than them. 12% said no, they would not. On the other survey, 89.7% of the women said that they will date a guy that doesn't make or make less than them, and 10% said no. So what that tells us is we often hear maybe people say, well, women don't want to date a man who doesn't make as much as them. They would prefer either make as much as them or more, right? Well, we see here out of 100 people, I can't remember how many women there were, but the majority of them saying, hey guys, we will date you. So do not have to worry about making a certain type of money. So that's why that question was asked.
Thank you, and that's good. But here, on that question, um, I want to hear what the rest of y'all. I want to hear Brother Ballard. What do you think about that? Just that question about um, the, the the income, the size of the wallet. Is that what do you think for fellas? Is that important that we talk about the size? You heard the percentage.
Yeah, it's in the 80s on, is it both sides, Miss Yolanda? Yolanda, was that on both sides?
I'm sorry, I'm hearing a lot of static. So there's interference
I think
somewhere.
I, I think
I don't hear any static. Do I sound staticky?
it's
Okay, you're good now. Okay,
Okay.
so that question was asked to ladies only.
Okay. Um, I guess I can start with Bible, Timothy.
Well,
You
be
know,
careful, but go ahead.
exactly. As a pastor, I don't know where else to start.
That's what I always say.
Ecclesiastes, right? Money's the answer to all things. Um, I know it is trying to trigger the shallowness in a person who may be materialistic. I like the location punt. I like that relative to location. I like income relevant to location. I mean, we're not going to. God gave you good sense, right? God gave you 5 senses. Act like you got some God-given sense. You know, don't put yourself in a position to struggle on purpose. I mean, like you don't want to. Um, yeah, I'm going to drop back and punt on that one. Yeah, I'm going to drop back and punt.
You know, I think a lot of that comes from maybe what the Bible says, because we have this perception from wherever it comes from. And somebody, Brandon Long says, perception is everything. That the man is supposed to lead. You know, if you don't work, you don't eat. But what about real life when we have or it seems to be that there are a lot of men not leading. Is it really okay for a man to not be okay financially? That would be the question that I would want to ask some men. Is it okay for your partner to make more than you do?
Okay.
So, because from what I'm understanding,
I'm sorry, are we talking about providing or leading? Because that's,
well, I
we're
didn't
talking
think
about,
about that. That's two different things to me.
so
And it could be the same thing.
this question to me, I believe, is more related to, is the man able to provide? For some women, they prefer to date or marry a man who's making more than them. So this question is not relating to whether or not the guy is able to lead.
Oh, okay. Huh. So if he can, so he can not be a provider and still lead, right? You don't have to provide anything, but he can still lead.
Yeah, I mean, okay, he can
You
still
don't pay no.
lead. Let's say, okay, the question is about, would you date someone making less? So if a lady's
Right.
making 100,000 and he's making 40, he can, yes, he's making 40, but he's still able to lead his household. So that's why I say it's not really related to leading. He's still able to provide for the family with what he's
Depends on who
making.
you're talking to. Some people think providing is leading, you know, and I've
It's
heard a
all
lot
going
of
the same place, Reverend.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like, oh, you don't make nothing but $1 a week. You can't, you ain't providing. You ain't got that. Because here's what I've heard a lot: you ain't paying no bills here. You don't have no say so here.
Well, this
So
is what I always say. But Reverend, this is what I say. I mean, we can lead by committee, right? I don't have all the answers, right? But together we have the answers. So I can lead by committee. I think we get antiquated. We're stuck in antiquity when it comes to gender roles.
big time.
In some cases.
Okay, so we don't have to stay on this question, but
No, we won't. But I do want to hear what Mr. Jones has to say about that.
The challenges in dating was about, will women date men who make less than them? So we're showing statistically that yes, most women will date you if you make less than she does. So
Now, did you say in that you came to that conclusion because that was a big thing, and now we're saying, well, fellas, you don't have to. It's like you checking off the, all these standards and saying, well, now, fellas, look, we're going up the ladder. You don't have to make much of us. Is that what you said? Setting it up. Is that where the question comes from?
yes, where it comes from.
Okay. All right. So that means at one time, women would not date. The majority of women would not. It was the other way around. So I was just wondering, and maybe we can do it at another time. Miss Jones, what do you think about that?
Well,
as far
I
as
gave
the men part. I'm talking about the ladies.
Well, I gave my opinion. I
Did
said
you?
that. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have didn't hear. Okay. Well, that's something I don't really want to touch. That's a good question.
Miss Jones, did we lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, I just had a question for clarity.
Okay.
Okay.
So Miss Jones, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. And Miss Yolanda, did we lose you?
No, she's still there.
Okay. What is a date?
What is a date?
What is a date?
What is a good date or what's a date?
What's a date?
I mean, I guess I'm trying to say, like,
in the context of the panel.
What?
In the context of the panel, like
of providing,
dating,
and making less.
Dating. Okay. So I feel like when it's two people who's coming together and they're enjoying each other's time, they're getting to know each other, collecting data.
Miss Yolanda, can I Can I get you back on screen just for a second? Or did I lose you? Did we run you away? You hung up? Okay, hey.
No, I'm here. My
go
laptop is
ahead.
making noises.
Okay. Can we get clarity on what exactly is a date?
When it is a date, I mean, during the dating phase is the time, courting, dating, whatever. During that time, you actually getting to know the other person, and you're pretty much taking that time to learn each other, understand your likes and your dislikes, and I will say, the more people you date, the more things you will really realize as far as the things you want versus what you need, right? So to me, that's what dating is.
Okay. So like kind of like an interview.
In a sense.
And I'm sorry, Timothy. I just wanted to ask.
No, go ahead. This is funny to me.
Okay. So I see a lot of posts on Facebook about, do men take women on dates anymore? Is it about, this pandemic has, created this sneaky link and all it's about is, let's hook up and let's not waste time and swap air and, we can do that online and, cut right to the chase, right? But we'll cut the chase out, as a matter of fact. But because I hear a lot about, is there such thing as dating anymore? So dating in the pandemic, how do you put down?
I mean, I would say like dating in a pandemic, you just got to get creative. I mean, I know a lot of people are scared to go to different places, but I mean, I feel like you can use your time and your resources, what you have around you.
Because for me, I think the solution is in the problem, Miss Yolanda. I think it's built in to the problem, right? Like the people with the issue or the people with the solution. So if we having challenges in dating, if there's issues in dating, I think that the solution is in that issue. So what is the solution to dating? Well, the challenge of dating, what is the solution? What's the resolve? I think that the solution is in the dating, that we should, I don't know, make dating great again. Just get back to getting to know each other.
The whole
learn.
boy meets girl thing.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, to me, it really boils down to women understanding what the man wants. That's just me.
And
because
man understanding what the woman wants. I'm just saying, I'm sorry.
Going back to the discussion we had last week, if the man does the choosing, which means most men or whoever, ask the woman to marry him. So what's happening is, if we really want to be truthful about it, a lot of women now are not being taught how to be wives, right? So what's the saying? A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. When he meets her, she should already be a wife. He shouldn't have to train her. Actually, someone sent me a message, quote, he stated that he wants to find who is already a wife, no OJT training. Okay, so that's, you say what now?
Is that on the job training?
Yes, yes. Did you say why not? I mean,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, if a guy have the patience and he's willing to teach that woman how to be his wife, then okay, she has to be open-minded, right? So again, these are a lot of the challenges that a lot of men have been stating for a very long time. So if we have these challenges, and again, I'm not just saying women is a problem only, of course not, men too. So we're having this discussion to figure out ways to have people look at things a different perspective. So with just this one question we've just gone through, well, a lot of men had this notion that, oh, these women won't date a guy like me because I only make a certain amount of money. most women want a guy who makes 6 figures or more. Well, the truth is, majority of women will date a guy making less than her. So if people don't know this information, again, if they're not aware of what a man wants or what a woman wants or need, whatever, then we're gonna always have these issues.
Well, Miss Jones said it's about how creative the other can be. I like
think
that.
we're talking about two different things.
Well, no, we're not. We're not. I'm just getting clarity. I'm just getting clarity on the situation. I think dating is the solution to dating. Actually,
I think so. But question one, then we're gonna go to something else. You said in the context of question of the income, will you date someone with less income than you? Now I'm gonna put some comments up here because I want to go to the comments after this because this is funny to me. But every single date, and I agree with you, Ballard. I agree with you, Yolanda, and I agree with all y'all on everything that you said. And I have to go on. I think it is the same thing when it comes to dating. What is dating? Yolanda went a step further, and she said women are not being taught how to be wives. That's deep. So, but in the context of what we're talking about here, the survey, what is dating? Will you date someone with less than income? The going out and are you okay with him paying for it? Never. That type of thing, and that's what I wanted. Listen, I want y'all these. Huh?
That does not have.
I think it do if you're always paying and you're a woman.
So let's get back to that, like not taught how to be wives.
I don't care what you say. If a man ain't got no money, you ain't finna pay for all these dates. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that you are. I mean, I'm not saying y'all because y'all. I'm just saying in general. I had some people, man, you ain't got no money. God, you don't never pay for nothing. Go ahead. I'm sorry I had to say that because I know that's unreal. I just don't believe that a woman wants to pay for it all the time. I just don't.
Just because the woman makes more doesn't necessarily mean he can't afford to take her on dates. I think you all are missing the mark here.
It sparks a good conversation though, because I want to know how many women don't mind paying for every single time. That's what I want to know. Dating, what does that include? Thank you, Ballard. That's why you got to get. All of y'all have great brains, but that made me think. What is dating? First of all, in order to know if you date somebody with lower income, do you have to know what dating is? So I thought that was a good point. We're not gonna stay there, but we got some interesting comments. There's some people. 778 Music Group said that I need to see these women because that's hard to believe. They need to see these women because that's hard to believe. The probably saying the problem is women need to live off of their man's income. Oh man, somebody is really has an opinion here. I don't know what to say about that. Miss Jones, you need to live off your man's income. Yolanda, you need to live off your man's income.
No, that's good.
Explain why not. Why would you not live off your...
No, that's good. That's good. What's all that about?
Well, I say because that's something that I'm going to bring to the table. I'm going to contribute to the household or to the relationship. But you don't have to have money to go out on dates. That's why I say you've got to get creative. I mean, if we don't have $10,000 to go to these high expensive places, let's chill. Let's create something like a movie night or at home, or I mean, turn the living room into something beautiful. Like, it doesn't have to, but it's depend on the people's mind and their perspective of how they what they want. Like, if you have a selfish person and they want all high expensive stuff, then I can see where they say, hey, I'm not paying for all this and I want my man to pay for it. But it's all about what the person wants.
Yep. Yolanda?
Well, go ahead.
No, I'm just, I didn't know if you want to go on, if you still wanted to address that.
Well, I disagree with Elizabeth. I can date someone making less than me. right? And if he was living, let's say he's making 45,000 a year, 50,000, and he's living his life making that type of income, and he's able to afford me to come in, even though I'm making money as well, right? Well, the whole concept of building together to me is okay. So, yes, most likely for me, I would have to sell my house, go live with him, because that's what I believe. The man goes to the woman goes to the man, right? So we live in his house. This is temporary, right? So we're basing everything off of his income while we're stacking my income and investing or whatever we planning to do. Eventually, at some point, maybe a couple of years or whatever, we would get a larger home to where then he'll be able to maintain those finances by himself. Because if I come in, I'm bringing in the money I'm making, and he's making whatever, and we go buy this house because we both can afford it. What if something happens to me? So now he can't afford to keep
Insurance.
going, right? Oh, things happen. Anything could happen. Yes. Now the way that I would have it set up to where we would have savings and emergency funds and things like that, of course. But we still don't know what could happen. So he should have the ability to take care of all the major household expenses by himself. So I can marry or be married to a man who's able to do that. So
Oh, I totally agree with you on that one.
She changed your mind then.
I didn't change my mind. I was just saying there's two types of women. So, I mean, we agree that we can date men with less income. But I'm like Yolanda, I would have like extra stuff stacked and saved. And then we will come together and make a vision of how we want the relationship to be or the marriage and go from there and see what's the better solution.
All right. You got some folks that says the next question, and Yolanda, you
No, hold on. So hold on. Don't go to the next question just yet, Doc.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got to say about that?
What was the question? It was about eating.
Huh?
It was about something about eating out.
He said that would a woman be okay if she have to pay every time and the man didn't have any money?
Yeah, that was the thing. So I just wanted to get at that just real quick. That triggered Nipsey Hussle for me when he was, on a date with Lauren London. He said that, he had to lead a tip because she tried to pay for the whole thing. So, you know what I'm saying? He's not threatened by that. In other words, he's not threatened by that. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a pride thing. It's an ego thing. He's not threatened by that, right? I had to lead a tip. She tried to pay for the whole thing, right? If I'm going to pay for everything, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind paying everything.
Right.
I need to see you at least go in your wallet once or twice. Let me just tell you to stop. I got it, baby. Let me just, let me make you feel good at the grocery store. Just go in the wallet. I got it, but I got you. Give me that. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel some type of way. That's all I'm saying.
I believe that. I think a lot of that. Me personally, this is just me. I don't care who makes. All I know is I would want to be able to take care of myself and take care of whoever.
Don't get mad when I call you a bluff either.
No, I'm saying take care of whoever I decide to bring in. Ask my wife; she'll tell you. I promise you. Well, now I don't get into that. That's me. I just don't want to be broke, bringing nothing as a male, as a black man at that. Because, but I don't care about anybody making more money than me. That's not something that bothers me at all.
That doesn't mean you're broke, though. That wouldn't mean you're broke. Just because you make less than her doesn't mean you're a broke man.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't want to be broke. I'm talking about without nothing, just
oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's my word. I'm always broke. So what is more important for the man to bring to the table? High income, high education, supportive, submissive, or domestic abilities. Now, check this out. 13 point.
That's a woman.
Yes. No, this is men.
Yeah, that's on the men answered that question for the women.
Right.
Or a partner.
Now, 13.3% said high income was the most important. 13.3 people said high income. And then 13.3 said higher education. Men, well, yes. Men.
So 13.3% of the guys who answered this question stated to them the most important for a woman or a partner to bring to the table is high income.
And that's interesting because there's 13.3% of the people who asked this question would love some of the 89.7% of the women who said that they would date a man with less income. Is that right? You see how close? Well, that's interesting right there. So higher education, supporter. I want to ask this question because this has more clicks than anything. Men were asked this question: what is more important for your partner to bring to the table? And the highest out of high income, higher education, supportive / submission, or domestic abilities, and I'm curious to know what that means. 53, over half, in fact, 90% said supportive and submissive. That would be
so
most
90% of the guys who answered on Instagram, 90% of them stated yes, that supportive / submissive is more important. 53.3% that answered from the Facebook survey.
Over half. God almighty. Talk about that. I mean, do we have anybody on here who's commenting? That is unreal to me.
Why is that unreal?
Well, first of all, it was a survey of 100 or more people, and out of high income, higher education, and domestic abilities, more men would rather have women supportive, I can see, but submissive, which I understand the, to me, I can understand support, but I don't understand the submissive, because when I think I was watching boxing yesterday and Evander Holyfield got whooped and he submitted because the referee stopped the fight. So I think of submissive as being something dominating. You better do what I say. That's why I said that. So explain, what is submissive?
That is not
in
submissive.
This context. That's not submissive. Why they call it submissive?
Elizabeth, explain what submissive is. We've had this discussion already. So
I know y'all have.
That was a little violent.
We had it in the part one.
I say that submissive is something that you're ready to confront, or I guess take authority, or allow someone to take authority or show you the way. In the sense of in a relationship, it's not saying that that person is going to be dominant over you, but you're allowing that person to take lead, and you're supporting them in that action.
Mm-hmm.
Although, go ahead. I refrain.
You refrain?
I don't think you should refrain. I think you should think about that and come back to it, because
I think that people do entertain domination in a way that
absolutely
creates this interplay between gender roles that says, if I'm a man, I'm going to submit to my woman as well. But, the boundaries, the on-the-job training there has to be some rules of engagement that we agree on. I'm not going to be, this henpecked husband. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to play that role if there's no agreement to it. So don't expect me, because I say I'm going to submit to you to be that. If we haven't agreed on that, right? No sins unless there's permission, right? The marriage bed undefiled, right? Don't play with me. Like, don't, unless we have discussed that. Right, Yolanda?
Okay.
So I think we I digress. I pause. I yield to the panel.
Why?
I just feel the word
Yolanda got the
support.
evil eye on me. I'm
No,
waiting on
I
her.
don't.
I'm telling
I'm
you,
waiting on her.
beautiful
No,
eyes.
no,
She
pay
looking
attention
like,
to these facial expressions. I'm sorry.
looking like
I'm just
that word.
listening. I mean, these are your opinions.
Oh, we all got them.
And you know, and I have a right to have it because I don't think that that's something. Wow. Now, I'm not gonna say nothing else. Okay. Wow.
And I think it also is a little misleading in the 100-person survey when you put the supportive / submission.
Thank you. That's
Like,
what I wanted to get to because that right there is different. But 58, however, the less, it must not, you know, the word, I want to say support and then make them different because I wonder how many people think like I do that support, yes.
because my wife supports me 100%, right? My wife
Right.
is my #1 fan, right? My
Right.
biggest supporter is my wife.
Should be. Yes.
And vice versa, right? Right?
Should
But
be.
when you say so, that doesn't equate to
It
submission.
doesn't. You know, it can't, you know, and that's my thoughts. This is just an opinion.
Okay.
But evidently.
I placed that way, and I should have explained more. So I think this is one of the ones that's a little bit more vague. So I was coming from the perspective of you have a man that has this program, this plan, right, for the family, and he knows that this plan is going to work and benefit the family. But let's say she comes in and she doesn't agree with it, but he's adamant about it. So she's giving pushback. She's not going to be supportive or submit to the things that he's going to need from her or need for her to do. So now she's not really being, I guess, submissive to him or trusting and believe that what he believed that will be beneficial to the family is going to work. So now he's trying to make something happen and she's not going along with it.
Tell that to the police. He wants me to be submissive to him, and I'm not gonna do it. And see what happens. Guaranteed, you going.
Everybody, okay. Submissive, I guess, is subjective then, because it doesn't mean that the man is a dictator or dominant or controlling someone's life. So I will say that.
But however, even with that word submissive there, 53% of people on Facebook said that's what I'd rather have. I want a woman who is supportive of me and submissive as well. Yeah.
Miss Yolanda. Miss Yolanda.
I'm listening.
Is it Miss?
Yes, it's Miss.
Okay. Are you dating?
I am dating.
So what does submission mean to you in your relationship? In what does submission mean for you?
Well, I just explained what submission.
I was kind of confused on it just a little bit. You said something like if I'm trying to do something like a plan and you're not with it, then you disagree, or?
I mean, for me, I speak in the terms if I'm married, right? And there's something that my husband is trying to lead on. So he's leading the family to a goal, a plan. He has a plan. So my role or my job is to support him and submit to what it is he needs me to do to make sure we meet that goal.
So submit does mean support. So submit does mean support in some kind of way there.
Yes, in some type of way. So that's why I had support / submissive, because if I'm giving a lot of pushback and I'm not doing the things that he needs me to do to help us get there, then I'm not submitting to what his plan is to him.
And therefore not supporting him either.
Right.
Okay.
I just the word. All I'm saying is I understand 100%, but it could have been another word, because when you think of submit to somebody, there's never a positive submission. Any submitting I've ever seen has always been negative. I think you don't, because you can agree without submitting. You know.
How is that negative?
I get what you're saying, Timothy. I get what you're saying because the sub, right? The sub
Well,
under.
you just look at the people we have today. They'll say
Miss
stuff
Jones,
like,
Miss Jones,
"I'm
help
not
us out."
doing that." What's that movement? That's what that's all about. That we will not submit to men. Look, I got one that's finna really get you. This is my little cousin right here. Watch this. A woman will submit naturally when she is being loved correctly from a man that's she had a lot to say, y'all. Listen to this. That's a provider, a protector, and can lead his family. Being submissive is allowing your partner to take lead in a positive manner. That's a college educated cousin right there. Listen, I shouldn't even put her up there. Leanne, I love you, honey, but we got to. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good statement right there.
And
Being submissive is allowing, but in a submission, there's no, just think of that, like fighting. They're not allowing them to do that. They are submitting because they have no other choice. Somebody is making them submit. And when you put those type of words in a male-female relationship, it's going to get that kind of pushback. I guarantee. But I do understand what you're saying. I don't think a man would be okay with never. Okay. All right. Come together, Elizabeth. A woman should be lining up with the vision and purposes of her man. That's got to be somebody y'all know right there.
Who is that?
You said
778.
Come together, Elizabeth. A woman should be
lining up with the vision and purpose of her man.
It's not always wives submit
Right.
to her. It's not always the woman to submit. I think that's my push on that.
Bible says that.
It also, but the next, and that's the next phrase.
The next one says
the next verse.
Next verse.
Right.
What says what?
Husbands submit to your wives.
Yep.
All right. Let me just ask you this. And we getting coming out of time, but let me ask you this. There was a question that was asked to women. Will you date someone between 5'6" and 5'8" tall? Now, this goes to show you the mind of a man and a woman right here. 72% of people on Facebook says, yes, I will. I put in there, did y'all? No, never mind. And then the rest of them, 27.6% said no. 80% on Instagram said, yes, I'll date a 5'6" to 5'8". 20% said no.
So the reason for this question is men today will say, oh, women don't date below average height men, right?
With average height?
Now, I'm 4'11", so pretty much everybody taller than me, so it's whatever. But I do have some friends, and I would say probably the majority of the ladies that I do know will not date a guy who is in that height range. Boy, but as we can see,
work to do in America.
As we can see, out of I think it was 60-something, almost 70 women stated, yes, they will date a man who is below average height.
Well, you know that saying,
so
tall,
men,
dark, and handsome.
Don't give up hope. There's women out there will date you. Okay,
fellas, listen. Never mind.
Is there average height for women? I mean, is there a threshold that men prefer? Do men prefer shorter women?
5'5" or above 5'8"?
No, I didn't ask that question.
The Muslims would.
It wasn't a challenge for them. It was more so a challenge for women.
Some men won't date women over 6 feet.
That's correct.
Ms. Jones, how tall are you?
I am 5'0", just 5, even.
So I'm 6'2", Reverend.
You taller than I am. I'm 5'7". I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm 5'7".
Let me just say this. I used to, and this was before I was married. I've been over 6 feet for a while, but you know, I used to claim submission to a taller woman. Like I would fetishize, you know, and I'm just trying to get to the, I guess, the inequality of, or even the insecurity of height. You know, it's like for people to say it's not a big deal, I think it is a big deal, but I don't think it should have any insecurities. I think like compatibility is important. You know, like if someone short and tall, if you're compatible, it's not going to matter. But you know, 4'11" may not work for me as good as it might work for you. You know, so or 5 foot may not work for me. My wife, she's 5'3". We work well, right? But you know, you wouldn't think I'm almost a foot taller than her, but we work well together. So I don't, you know, I guess I just don't want to get caught up in insecurity around height, ableism, you know, another ism for us to be triggered by, you know.
Yeah, and that's you know
Or have
that's
microaggressions over, right?
yeah. That's another
Because Napoleon
separation
complex is
right
real, Reverend. You know, Martin King was a short man. He was 5'9" on a good day.
That's average. 5'8" is average.
So he
Is
was
that the average now?
5'8" for a male is an average height.
But they was also wearing them stacks back then too. So
They was, man. They was.
you know,
But I'm saying,
shifted a number of you.
My
even
wife
though
would have to stand
5'8"
up
is
on her
average,
tippy toes to kiss me, and she's taller than both of them. I'm not. I'm just saying that she's. I mean, you know, I don't.
I'm just saying, I'm not messed up with.
toes.
I'm not messed up with climbing the ladder. I'm not messed up.
I ain't messing up with bending down. You know, whatever. If you love somebody and that's the one that's gonna treat you right, she could be a. You got it. You know what I'm saying?
Let love be the barometer, right?
well,
Jesus.
for men, you all don't. That doesn't matter to you. That's why the question was not asked to you, right?
It does. I think it does matter. I think it does matter.
You think so? Well, I guess we hear more women say the first thing they'll say, "Oh no, I'm not dating a short man," or they'll say short, but below average.
But here's the myth behind that, Yolanda, because it's slim pickings out here. The whole myth about slim pickings, ain't no more tall brothers out here no more, or the tall brothers is, you know, they thoughts or whatever. They, you know, these tall brothers is the biggest hoes. You know, they got, you know.
I don't think that's why. I think that's a huge preference that they have. But so if in that case, what you just stated, well, then why not date an average height guy?
My cousin is in New York City, and I get he's 5'8", and you know, if I look through his phone right now, I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow.
Let me tell you something.
Because it's slim pickings out here. That's the myth behind it.
Let me tell you. You remember Spud Webb? He was 5'7", right? He get up there and dunk any kind of dunk you want. I bet the wind wouldn't talk about, hey, little Spud.
But do you have to be superhuman to pull if you're short? You know, like you have to overcompensate somewhere else.
What you got, bub? If you got some money, nope.
Do you have to overcompensate? Right? Do your money got to stack tall?
Yeah, it's got to be something.
Right. This whole third leg, do you got to have that? You know what I mean? Do you got to overcompensate somewhere, Mrs. Jones, if you lacking in another place?
I mean, that's for men. I mean, I'm just saying, like, they prefer what they prefer.
She didn't really want to deal with that.
No, I'm just saying they prefer what they prefer. Yes. Like with women, we do talk about the height of a man, and for men, y'all talk about the size of a woman. So I'm just trying to figure it out.
That's the
y'all probably want to like a Megan Stallion, you know, and that woman's not built that way. So
she's built that. She's an exception, right? She's 6 feet.
I'm just saying.
Right. But I think you made a good point around size and height. Maybe that's the rub there, Yolanda.
That's right. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Yeah. I probably should ask that question. I mean, at the end of the day, a guy can't change how tall he is, but a woman can change her weight.
Yeah,
he can't, and that's what I thought about on this.
I mean, America, wait them stats.
Things that you can't change. You can't change what color you are. You can't change.
Vladimir Putin wear lifters in his shoes when Barack met him. I mean,
you can't change.
Ladies, there you go.
Ladies wear heels all the time.
There you go, ladies. So if you don't want a below
Listen to your
average
closet.
height
Listen to your
man,
closet, Yolanda. Show us them red bottoms. Show us your pumps in there.
I do got some 6 inches.
Yes.
Okay, listen.
She said, "I do got some
Okay,
6 inches."
a solution
There it
for
is. At
some of
9
these.
o'clock, there it went.
So a solution for some of these ladies, then go ahead and date a below average height man and just buy him
Some facts.
some yes.
I wish I was 5'3" and somebody bought me some stacks.
Okay.
You go,
Which, hey, here you go. What are you trying to say? What kind of gift is that for your man? Because he's 5'3". I'd be like, you're 4'11".
Y'all remember this conversation when them stacks come back around? Y'all
Hey, man,
remember
they
this
coming back though. They
conversation?
have to. I'm
Men
not
already
gonna-
went. They're already out here to make gala wearing dresses. You know,
Hey,
the
this is the
heels
last
and
question.
neck.
I gotta ask y'all this. I really want to know this. It's not in the questions, but I don't know what this comment means. I like tall women. They're good for breeding athletes. That's probably
Oh
somebody
Lord.
that y'all brought to
meaning
the camp.
having babies.
I don't, you know, that type of stuff reminds me of slavery and when
Wow,
they used to breed
right.
black people when I think about that kind of stuff. So that's almost offensive. I don't know what they mean by that. Breeding
They
is
are
something that you do with
saying
animals. You don't do it with people. Huh?
they saying that it's good to be with a tall woman. When you have children, the children will be
Yeah. Okay,
tall.
I'm just saying. When I think of breeding, I think about these dogs that I'm trying to make $1 million off of. You don't breed people, you breed animals. Is that right? Well, animals are people. I don't just.
Tim,
So,
you can't
Yolanda,
get
you won't
too deep in
qualify
it.
because they like tall women. At least you're not good
That's
for
some
breeding.
interference. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes,
I hear you.
You all sound a little staticky stuff.
she running from the question.
Mm-hmm.
Who running?
Last thing I want to know, what is a typical? All the questions we got. What is a man? I mean, does he need to have a? I mean, what is an ideal man? What does he look like? Has he got to be the 6-figure guy? You know, turn around 3 times and you fall. I mean, you know, this fairy tale version that I see. I want to know from you all, what is a man?
We talked about this in part 1. You answered this question.
I'm asking it again. I didn't get a good answer out of the first one. What is a man? Because what I see is a lot of people who are wanting this guy. He makes 6-7 figures. He, you know, I mean, Stefan Urkel, you know, Stephen Urkel's, when he went into the thing, when he was this dude, he didn't get much, but when he was this dude, everybody liked him. What is there a fairy tale man, I think, that we are searching for? Huh?
Is there criteria?
Yeah, criteria. I mean, yeah, because what I see is a steady list that we're checking off. Well, he ain't got to make as much as I do now. Oh God, honey, he can be short. I mean, just check. But pretty soon you're not gonna have nothing to check from. So what's a man?
First of all, money and their height doesn't define who a man is, who he is. So, I mean,
are you talking about characteristics or what?
No, you know, I know a male has the penis, and you know, that I'm talking about. Like, what does he have to be? This fairy tale person to make 6 figures, and every time you see him, he's glowing with diamonds all around him, and he jumps out of the Maserati. He also got the 6-car garage. What do you
for
see
some
as a man?
women,
Like an ideal man for a lady making $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year?
it's subjective. I mean, if that's what the woman wants, then she needs to do whatever she needs to do to get that type of man. So that's not defining who a man is.
Okay.
Okay, what type of
You
man
got
are
that?
you? I mean, I don't know.
What type of man am I?
You asking?
I ain't no good.
Oh, okay. Well,
I ain't no good. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm not looking for a man, you know.
I don't know why you asked this question.
I ain't no
So
good. what's that song go? I kind of when I first started preaching, I had to be all good, and then I found out I lost 10 years of my life dealing with you church people. But what's that song that Roy Jones and them came out with? I something. I'm supposed to stop, but I can't. Miss Jones, you probably a little bit too young for that type of hip hop.
Now I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, that's me right there. I'm no good. We want
there's
the
another
ladies on here to know
question.
what a good man is. Here's what I think then. I think a good man is a guy who's respectful. He don't run away from his responsibilities. There's a few things that he's not going to move on no matter what comes his way. Somebody who has money or all they jump for is money, they'll sell you out. But a man is non-negotiable on some of the principles and stuff in his life that don't change no matter what. He might not make a whole lot of money, but you know that he is a man by what I mean, if he says he's gonna be there, he's gonna do it. These dream people that I think some of the things that we want is just unrealistic. Like a model. I think that a model is in the eyes of the beholder, but I think a man is a man who you can't make him be weak. Not all men are strong. I'm not saying like run over somebody. I'm just talking about stand firm in what you believe and do whatever you have to do to take care of your family. That's what I think. Respectful to his people, take care of his family, stuff in his life that he don't negotiate is non-negotiable, and the things that he does or don't always do right, he takes a responsibility for it instead of running away from it or trying to cast the blame on somebody else. I'm so sick of people like that. I don't know what to do. Cannot take responsibility for what their own actions is.
Right, Reverend.
That's what a man is. Go ahead, sir.
So let me say this, and I want the women to have the last word.
Yes, please.
But in this negotiation, I think there's an underbelly because the future is inevitably female. It's just, if you cut a cross section, I take my sample from hip hop. It just, women run the game, like period. They run it. It was coming, inevitable. But in that, I think there's this underbelly, right? That even out of some of the conversation that, yeah, these bros be acting up and these women be letting them, and vice versa. These girls be acting up and these men be letting them. And in that is also this toxic masculinity we talked about. But on the underbelly of that is also a toxic femininity that has yet to be fleshed out and addressed. So I just wanted to tease a little bit, kind of trouble that water, or what we could possibly expect to surface. And it's already below the surface. But yeah, that's all.
I like that. I do. We're going to get off here and I'm going to let them have the last word, but I want to thank them because, see, this is a conversation, and all jokes aside, that really needs to be had because there's some people, and that's why that submissive word, I've heard that a lot myself. This is not something I made up. We
didn't even talk about same sex. We didn't even talk about just in general, just relationship, just love being the barometer. Right. In the, we can play the gender role. Okay.
And, yeah. And we're not going to win a gender war. But anyway, I thank y'all because y'all bring some powerful stuff to the table. I think we should do it again because I changed my mind. But there's more topics that we can talk about because people are, you can be a keyboard gangster, but on the inside, people are really hurting. They're hurting from relationships right now, either because of some type of passive or abuse. I mean, it's all kind of stuff going on. And my thing is just to ensure that in whatever relationship that I'm in, then I don't become one who is doing the wrong thing, I'll say. So I know some people for real that are hurting in relationships. And it bothers me because some people are really good people, may have just selected the wrong person for the. So I'll get with y'all in your feedback, and I guess we'll go from there. I'm sorry I didn't get through the survey, but we still got a few people watching while we're over an hour. But So you ladies go ahead with the last comments, please. Yogi first. I mean, well, y'all go ahead. I can't tell y'all nothing.
A hot mess.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I mean, I think I can agree, and that there is some deep stuff that I think each individual needs to heal from before moving on to like a person or trying to get involved in a relationship. I think there is some toxic things in areas where we have been taught from like childhood and how we are supposed to be treated, or a way or perspective how a man is supposed to provide and do a certain way, and a woman's supposed to act a certain way. So I would definitely like to see if we dive deep into, and as we discover more of what men and women want and needs.
Mhm. For me, I would say a really important thing to know is to understand each other's love languages. And it's about how that person desired to be loved, not how you love them, right?
Correct.
So, and that's something that I had to learn years ago in understanding that. But real quick, I want to touch on a couple of questions. We don't have to talk about them, but I wanted to give the results. I know here lately we've been hearing that most men don't prefer to date a woman with kids, right? And what we found out, I asked that question to both men and women, and the majority, I would say well over 80 something percent collectively stated that they will date someone with a kid. Majority of them actually said two or more, right? But I will say, if I had to guess, with and there was a low percentage of people said, "Hey, I'd rather date someone with no kids," for whatever reason. But I will add that I would think that the majority of those people stated that they will date someone with children. They would not prefer any type of, I guess, issues that they're having to deal with. I would call it, you
Patty
know,
drama.
any issues with the parents of the children. That's a better way, I
Well,
guess,
that's
to
a
place
struggle
that,
right there.
right?
That's a struggle.
Which is understandable, right? So, I mean, I know there are a lot of people out there who's worried about that. I know you and I spoke last night, and
Yes.
let me know that you don't have children, but you are raising your nephew, so he's your child. And so just know, ma'am, you're not in the danger zone. There are a lot of
That
men out
girl
there
ain't
who
gonna have
will
no
date
problem
you.
getting no man at all.
So that was a big one. And another one was the difference between love and respect. Most people, both men and women, say that they prefer respect over love. And I actually had someone message me.
R-E-S-P.
Yeah,
I
respect.
actually had,
That's a alarmist language, but okay.
But there are more black women respecting black men more than ever
No, I
nowadays.
think the respect thing is more in the female sphere for me. What I hear, as far as it having gravitas, that women respect women. That we're not going to date a married man. As a woman, you should respect me. You shouldn't. It's a lot of that foreground establishing out of that creates this.
I sent a message to a lady.
Yeah, this force field. Okay, go ahead.
No, you're right though. I sent a message to a lady, really nice lady, and
This is a do not cross. It's a do not.
Do not
that's
cross.
it.
Yeah, it's don't. It's a do not cross.
Boundary.
It's just the alarm. It's like respect, and it's like a Armageddon card. It's like that kills the conversation. You should respect out of respect, and then it's like you steamroll the conversation if you're not versatile in that love language or in that kind of talk, because you're gonna have to learn on the fly on some of this stuff. Like you're not gonna learn that. Your mom's not gonna teach you everything. Daddy's not gonna teach you everything.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Hey, listen. Let me put this one up here because I do got. I just want to know.
wait a minute, let me
Plus,
make a comment real quick on
yes,
this
ma'am.
same topic before we switch over.
No,
So
go
I had
ahead.
I had a man that messaged me about that question when he was answering it. And he said, what if I don't believe that love exists without respect? So he didn't really know how to answer that question. So for him, I would say maybe love was more important than respect. But I explained that I know someone's married right now where his wife do not respect him, but she loved the heck out of him. So
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Is that possible?
That's what I was wondering. I mean,
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think because
Because
isn't
love and
I
cherish, they
respect
say love and
I don't
respect in the
respect you, but I
vows, don't
love
they?
you.
I thought I heard that.
yes,
I
so
respect you,
isn't
but I
that
love you.
mostly women would desire love, whereas men desire the respect mostly? I mean, I've always
I don't
felt
know
like
about
they're one and the
desire.
same as
I'm
well.
almost with the
The either
demand.
or is getting me, right? I mean, because it puts me on the defensive that I can't take a side, that I have to take a side, or that like fear is somewhere in the respect. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Jones.
Oh no, I would
Yeah,
just
what does respect
I just feel like women are, if they know they're being loved like correctly, they're gonna respect that man. But I mean, the survey was posted like there's a book out there and it says love and respect, and they do talk about how the man is truly, if he can earn the respect, he can give the love that the woman is wanting.
Hmm.
So
Ooh, that's
I
a
mean,
big thing.
Yeah,
I
man?
believe
That was
love.
huge right there. I wouldn't say nothing
It's a
like that.
touchy subject, and I feel like we can dive deeper into it because I mean there is like maybe opposite sides of where one people will say love and respect goes together, and some people will say it don't go together. Either I receive one and you get the other. So it's something definitely we can look into.
Can I tell
yeah.
y'all a story real quick? True story. I
Nope,
was in a
you can't
house
tell
one
us a
time. We
story.
talked
You
about
can't tell us
respect.
a
Now you listen to
story.
this. Since you think that love trumps respect, or respect trumps love, I'm gonna tell you, I don't see how people can disrespect you and love you. I'm talking about disrespect, like, and then we had listen. I was in a house one time and everybody was talking about this guy. I'm talking about talking cash stuff. This dude was a Golden Glove boxer, by the way. Talking about fear, and I mean, a knock on the door. Whole room went silent. No, a knock on the door. You know how Negroes are. They gonna keep talking, and they say it's him, y'all. The whole room went silent. What do you call that?
Respect.
That's
Respect like a
fear.
mug. Now
That's
they was
fear.
talking about him like a dog before he got there.
That's fear.
That's fear. Exact. Oh well, yeah,
Hey,
it
but
is
fear make you.
fear.
Hey, listen. You understand that respect goes. If you ain't talking, hey, listen. That was my uncle, y'all. I'm telling you. Hey, he wasn't no joke.
Boy, David,
But
sick
it wasn't
boy.
really him at the door. That was the kicker. But so I think when it comes to fear, that shouldn't be in the
There you
relationship.
go. Here come Debo.
But
Devo.
when it comes to the street stuff, it's a little different. So what is respect in the relationship? That's what we get to, because I don't want nobody to be fearing me and just saying I respect you because I fear you. But then I don't want nobody to be disrespecting me and for no reason.
But
I don't believe that
that's
you
what
show. I
happens
don't
though.
believe if a man does what he does, because I've seen situations. Y'all know you've seen situations where men have done what they're supposed to do, and they still get disrespected.
That's interesting,
Don't act like
Reverend,
you don't
because
Yep.
now.
let
Yeah,
me
you're
let me
right.
say let me say why I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting because I think about this antiquated word meekness. And I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I'm gonna do a word study, but that's the word that comes to mind thinking about respect. Because when a person's meek, we confuse that with them being passive.
Right. Or
When you
weak.
talk
Yeah.
meekness, when we talk meekness, like that's a lion. That's somebody
Absolutely.
really strong and on a leash, right? That lion can break that leash at any given
Mm-hmm.
moment, right? But chooses not to. That's meekness. So out of respect, so things don't get volatile. I think that's the direction I wanted to take that word, to where it's not fear, it's more that's a respect to say, man, I know I could crush you either way.
But
Either way, like the woman, I can be petty, like Negro, I can read you. I give total respect to women for the ability to read. I can't. I
me
don't read.
neither.
I don't read the weather, baby. I change the weather, right? I'm not good at reading.
I know that's
That's a
right.
good one.
You feel
That's a
me?
good
Like
one.
I don't do that. But at the same time, you feel me, Reverend? I'm saying like
Hey, yes,
that
sir.
there's a give and go in there, and so yeah.
Ballard, I
I think
told
the
you
meekness I'm
welcome to
getting
the
at is more
conversation, man.
respect.
Hey, y'all, I just got to get y'all. I want y'all to look at these comments before we go, okay? Because you got to hear this. That his data matches up to his analysis from all that dating and fellowship. No lying, cheating. He genuinely loves you and everything about you, and you both build together. That's that type of man that these women look for out here. No cheating, no lying. Genuinely loves you and everything about you, and you both build together.
And into that comment, I just want to say this. Like, I think Miss Jones mentioned it, that we had to be upfront about our issues.
Got to be
To
upfront.
avoid toxicity in a relationship that you may come with because of data you've built already, right? You've got this data you've built, but it's also bio data.
That's right.
It becomes a part of your body, right?
Yeah.
And
I
that
got a
becomes
problem with
toxic.
people.
And I'm just saying, like in Miss Jones's case, like if we're going to talk about debt, if we're going to talk about, body count, we're going to talk about size, we're going to talk about all this, you need to tell me about your darkest, what's rock bottom for you? Like, what's your, because, people get outed, you may get blindsided by something out there in the community about this person you don't know nothing about.
That you don't know nothing about. That's right.
And it could wreck you. So come with that. Right, bring that to the table. I mean, expose that person, but telling yourself with that person,
right?
Because you're going to trust them, irrespective of what anybody else has to say about you. It doesn't matter. Like if you're trusting this person that you're going to be intimate with, like I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you. I'm spending this time with you. I'm casting this arc out long enough for us to. I see us under this arc for this amount of time. I have to. Love exposes the other. I expose me to you. I love you. I expose me to you. So I think, so the analysis that, our other panelist was talking about, Bill is she's speaking of this history that is out there, this arc in dating, right? The line of cheating, the data, we talk about toxicity. Like you have to, if you want to establish a relationship on firm ground and not on shifting sand, like you got to go to rock bottom. What is rock bottom for you?
Hey, a lot of people say don't talk about it, and that makes me wonder if you don't talk about, like, if you have a cancer and you don't talk about it, is that the solution? Just don't talk about it. And
no, that's
I think
not the solution,
ma'am.
That's not the solution.
It is for some people. That's just your opinion.
I think people don't talk about their darkest because they don't know how that person can handle their vulnerability. And if that person can't handle their vulnerability or their dark secrets, sometimes some people think that you're going to turn and use that against them.
So the sign of insecurity.
A sign of insecurity on who?
On the part of the person that don't want to talk about those things. So it's all about healing. I mean,
that person that we're exposing us to, it might not be able to help me heal.
True.
You're not. To me, you're not looking to that person to heal. I'm saying I would think you would want to try to heal those things before moving forward into a relationship.
Correct.
I understand that, but you come in with baggage. Some people come in with baggage. So the cases and points I can point to in my past that says this person came into our relationship with unchecked baggage. And I had to help her through that. So we had to heal together.
But she trusted you, right? So she felt secure to tell you those things.
Of course.
So I would just feel
as secure to trust, if I'm in love, right? I'm exposing myself to this person. Irrespective of the data that, we speak about, the lying, the cheating, who's messed it up for quote unquote all men out there, right? Let me tell on me.
Right. That's good stuff, Ballard.
Let me start with an apology. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the real stuff that don't nobody want to talk about right there. But it's free some people, and then other people it sets free. Either way, it's gonna be free.
But I believe that the two individual has to set that atmosphere for it to be, trueness come together. So
Right.
Because the cancer you speak about, Timothy, you talk about cancer and who's not going to talk about it. But you're going to talk about it with your doctor. You're talking about it with someone, right? You're talking about it with somebody that you trust, even if that trust is God and God alone.
Even if that, I mean, if you think you've got cancer, you
because
ought
of trust
to say something to
issues.
your mate, and then I don't feel too comfortable about my mate having cancer, and I don't know nothing about it. And then they go to this doctor because he is the designated one that God has put there to heal still. I think it's the same thing. If there's any type of anything, and I think that, I don't know if this is in the context of being married or in the context of dating. However, certainly by the time you get to that marriage point, if you can't trust that person, it's something that ain't the one you need to be marrying. That's what I think. Period.
So now we're getting into red flags.
I don't know what that means.
Yes, you do. You gotta know red flags. Red flags.
No, I've never heard
telling
of
you
not
to go with that person.
Is that what red flag is? TV show? Or are we actually getting some on the YouTube? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like red flags. Like it's like signs that you shouldn't be with that person.
Oh, okay.
Like caution signs or stop
at
signs.
the altar and something is saying ding 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 ding, don't do it. That's a sign in your mind that you should not do it. Now, if you do it, that's one thing.
I mean, that's
red
you.
flag. I'm a little slow.
That's you.
You was having fun. You was 6 Flags, right?
Six
you was
Flags.
enjoying the ride.
Now, good and well, people get married for whatever reason. Her daddy made me marry her because she was pregnant. All kinds of stuff. I'm just wondering if you are getting married or you're in a relationship with somebody, there are people, I don't care what you say, that are going to take stuff to the grave and not tell anybody. Won't even tell their own mama, they grandpa. It's just like that. And my thing is, I'm like, what's that preacher out of Baltimore? He came to ABC a couple of times. He's real good. What's his name? Wesley. He said, I'm not talking about privacy. You go in the bathroom and you can do whatever I don't want to know what's going on in there, but secrecy in a relationship. Quiet, ain't it?
Yes, because make your point.
That's my point. Privacy, secrecy.
Oh, okay.
Daryl the one started the conversation. I didn't know he was going there. It might trigger something in me.
Red flags.
It triggered something in me to talk about secrecy and privacy. What type of person keeps
I'm just waiting on Yolanda.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
right. I'm waiting on her too. Her face is priceless.
I'm finna black your picture out of what I'm finna ready to do. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I don't have anything to add to that discussion. I'm agreeing with what you all are saying.
Yeah, there's a cut clear. There's just some things you don't fool with. All right, listen, y'all.
Well, Ms. Jones put it out there about red flags. You want to give us space for that?
Red flag? Yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
You on here. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, Yoga. I'm sorry.
Yolanda,
listen. Do that off the air, Yolanda.
Red flags, yes. There are
some people get where they come from. I shouldn't have said that because she gonna think I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Very kidding.
Okay. Host. Okay. Yes, when it comes to red flags, I agree. You should pay a lot of attention to them in the very beginning. And red flags are pretty much things that are how should I put it? There's some things that a person may do that may be okay with one person, right? And it may not be okay with you. So red flags for me are really big deal breakers, I would say. And then oftentimes people will overlook those red flags and continue on and expecting something different, right? But again, I agree with what you all were stating.
You know, Davis, I saw, an instance, they went on a man and a woman went on a date, first date, and they went to a food truck. She just ordered a cup of ice. They set out like, I just want some ice. They going to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of a sudden she pulled out the pint of Hennessy. And, you know what I'm saying? That might not be a red flag for some. At 12 o'clock in the daytime on a Tuesday, right? It ain't brunch on Sundays, right? We're talking about brunch. I don't even know about Hennessy and orange juice. What kind of Incredible Hulk that would be without the Alizé. But let me wrap. But
that was her mimosa.
Mimosa, dirty
That
mimosa.
maybe that was her mimosa.
That's mimosa with they make mimosas with yak. You can make mimosa with anything, huh?
Yeah, you can.
Screwdriver mimosa.
Y'all talking about yak and all that. I did.
That might be a red flag for some, right? I mean, like for others, I saw there was a Facebook video circulating. There was a man and a woman out in a parking lot, and he was walking up on her, and I think he was mouthing "smack me." So she smacked him like 3 times, and then he just went in her mouth with his tongue. Like,
wow,
that might be a red flag for other people. You can't smack another one. Brother, sister, big face. They may not be going for that.
Yeah, that's
Ms. Jones. You understand what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah, perfect example, actually.
Perfect example.
Not into the dominatrix.
Well, I mean, and then you talk submission because a lot of S&M talk comes up, with that submission language. The Samson and Delilah story, a lot of that talk and play and safe words come up, and folk like to play with the Bible like that and make jokes.
Yes.
And play with their demons. I'm preaching 2 Sundays ago, Reverend, and I had to be candid to let them know, look, get thee behind me, Satan, does not mean you do doggy style with your demons, right?
What's the
I got to be explicit about that. Well, y'all not gonna, your audience is not gonna like me for that, but
that's all right.
I'm just letting them know how real it is out here, how dark it can get.
They know, trust me. They know. This is actually on.
While we talking about flags, I mean, you got some color guards out here playing with their flags. The color guards. They.
Yes.
Yolanda, you know what I'm talking about, the color guards. They be in the band and they flipping and twirling the flags and stuff. Yeah, you got some color guards out here playing with red flags like that. So at some point, there has to be some discipline that does not leak into or bleed into domination of the S&M that can be healthy and not come with so many consequences.
Yes, I want to do a better job of getting the comments. Now I don't want us to stay on too long, but the conversation gets good. It's 9:30, and I'm going to let y'all have one final comment, and then we out of here. Tell us what's good for as far as relationships. I know, Ms. Jones, you talked about diving in a little deeper to the love and respect thing. What would you like to see next as far as relationships? And anytime you hold a few people's attention for a whole hour and 30 minutes, you're talking about something. So what would you like to see?
I mean, I would like to see if we can dive deeper into love and respect. I know somebody said that, they both go together. Some people think they don't go together. And then I would like to dive into like what Mr. Darrell said, that the toxic stuff that we come into relationships and not being healed already have a preconception of what the 2 roles are supposed to do in a relationship.
Thank you. Yolanda?
I'm thinking, I don't know. One thing that comes to mind right now is everyone taking accountability.
That's a good one.
That has been an issue in the past, but I'm really good at taking accountability, but a lot of people are not. And really to understand the importance of taking the accountability for your actions, or especially when, you know, it's involving maybe a breakup or something like that. Because if you, even though you may feel like it's the other person's fault, still look at it as, okay, what was my role into that? And maybe it's something you can learn and take on to your next relationships. But again, to me, a lot of people don't really take accountability for their actions.
That's what I was stating. What I think a man is, and also a woman, take accountability. That's a whole new conversation that you introduced. Go ahead, Ballard.
I yield until next time.
That's smart. Hey, listen, if somebody tried to text me, my phone was off. I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget, please go to Facebook, because we have Facebook and YouTubers on here. Go to Face, hit that like button. We want you to share this, share. We were sitting at, I didn't see the whole total, but I'm proud of the numbers that we were seeing. Thank you for the comments. None of it is taken personally, because we are really just trying to help somebody, but we love all the comments. Minister Bowman, thank you for chiming in. Cuz, I love you to death. We got to talk more. I'm going to have to get my little cuz on here, because she got a lot to say. And no matter what, ladies, when dating, guard your virtue. Guard your virtue. Make sure when a man looks at you, he sees a woman that can manage her virtue well.
That's true.
Well, that's deep right there.
That's deep.
That is so deep.
It is true,
Yeah.
though. Very true.
We're going to have her on here next week then, if she's available. All right, y'all. Well, it's been real. Y'all
Okay.
guard your virtue.
We will.
That's real, though. I was talking to somebody earlier. Let me just say this real quick, because that's important. I was talking to somebody earlier, and here's what the question came. A man, let's say he meets a woman, she's all that, and the question come up, how many people you been with? And he said, well, she said, I've been with 500. He says, I've been with 500 too. Well, she don't mind being with him, but he don't want to be with her. Think about that. We'll talk about that some other time. What's the difference? Why is it that men, and I read an article on this just a week ago, and it said that most men lie about or add on, and most women take off.
Yeah, J. Cole said you got to multiply that number by 3.
I think that was what they said. In fact, you gotta. I think that's what they said, something like that. So that's something. And somebody asked,
well,
why
and you know, so let me add this. So good for the goose, good for the gander. You know, even the kids talk. We had a question about 2 or more children on here, right? Yolanda, was it 2 or more?
2 or more, or 1 max, or no?
You know, it's you know, people in the church. You know, I seen, you know, people with 10 kids. You know, man and woman.
Jesus.
You know, now do they have to get together because they have something in common? You know, that's a household to deal with. And I know a situation like that now. I think culture has pressed them into a corner to where all they have is each other. If love is truly the barometer, then I just don't get the hang up sometimes about why women won't date men with a lot of kids, why men won't date women with a lot of kids. You know, does the 10-child mother have to settle, or, you know, does she have to, you know, choose out of her familiarity? Like, what does she look like on the other side? So a man with 10 kids now, do they have to connect? Or can opposites attract? Can a man with no kids, which you would think, you know, people with no children tend to have a bigger heart for children. I've seen an experience for people who do have children.
I think it depends. I mean, I think for men, they're more concerned on how many fathers. So if a lady have 10 kids, okay, how many fathers are involved? You know. Also, it may depend on you. Do you have those kids in wedlock, right? Were you married when you have these kids? So I think it is a little bit different.
So why does that matter about wedlock?
I don't know. I'm not a man. I'm just saying that from what I've heard that they're
If you're a woman, are you going to ask that question of the man?
That would be one of the questions I would
now
ask.
for me personally, I do not prefer to date a man with more than 2 kids, and I would prefer them to be at least high school age or older.
So do you, because you think they're involved in the child's mother's life if they're younger?
No, it's not just that. I mean, my
You
thing
want
is, as long as there's a healthy relationship with co-parenting, it's cool. It's just that again, this is my preference. I'm not saying I wouldn't date a guy with younger kids, but I don't have children. So I will like that ability if I'm dating someone or married to someone, we have the flexibility to just move around freely. I mean, go on trips. So he don't, when he have his kids, he don't have to worry about a babysitter or any type of issues with
Bring
with
the
with
kid.
the mother. So again, that's just my preference.
So I'll have to say I kind of agree with Yolanda. I didn't have any kids before before I got my nephew. So in that transition of getting my nephew, I mean, it is kind of hard to move around when you single and with no kids, and then now you're single and you're raising a child. But I don't mind dating a man that has children. My only preference is that I want it to be a healthy relationship. Like if he has a healthy relationship with his ex and with his kids, and he's active, and then so more, like I don't want any problems.
Right. You don't, I mean, you wouldn't, I guess, compete with that time. I mean, like, man has children, he's going to have to spend time with those children. Maybe not always in front of you. The co-parenting thing, maybe, so a lot of factors, forces at play will definitely push the relationship, push and pull. I just don't agree with a lot of this, the hang up with, I'll stop there. I just don't agree with a lot of that. How we put a stigma on, people with a basketball team full of children. Right? Like I got 4 boys. We blended a family, Brady Bunch. Like I'm cool. I'm good. Like Daryl is good, Reverend. But
and I think it's what the person wants. I mean, I believe like if that's what you're interested in, if you love that person and you truly love them, and then they have the extra kids, I mean, it's all a part what the person, what are y'all interested in, and what are y'all goal is, and what are y'all are trying to accomplish and achieve. So I think it's just different. Some people just don't.
You're different people around different people, right? You're a different people around different people.
Yeah.
Like you may bring out the $1 million idea in me, without you having your nephew, and I got 10 kids over here, right? But some women don't. They have a preference. They're not going to date a man with. And I'm not saying that they blocking their blessings. I'm just saying a closed mind.
Yeah, you're right.
But
My mom would say,
would that be closed-minded though?
Yeah, if you got if you saying I'm not going to date somebody with 10 children, that's closing that. That's closing that.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, I'm single with no kids, and I am not going to date a man with 10 kids.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying, don't get mad if the man with 10 kids and the woman with no kids all of a sudden on the Forbes list, and you feel some type of way about that.
No, listen. There's nothing wrong with either side. I'm just saying, don't say that I'm closed-minded because I don't want to date a guy with 10 kids when I don't have any kids.
I just said you're closing that. Well, I think that is we're violently agreeing. I think we're violently agreeing on that. If you have a standard and you say if I call your standard having a closed mind, then that's a point of contention we'll have. Okay. That I'm willing to negotiate that, but I'm not gonna change my position.
No, I mean, I guess in a sense, maybe I did get a little defensive a little bit, only because I don't know. Again, for me, going from no kids to 10 kids, and you mean to tell me that there's no type of issues anywhere? Because now, okay, I get it. He has to spend time and resources and everything to those kids. To me, those are his kids come first, come before me. You know what I mean? So I respect all of that, right? I'm just saying for me.
I disagree with that because
I think
I mean, so the trope is this, and I'm gonna let you finish, Ms. John. I just want to say this: that I can always make more kids. That's the trope, right? I can make more children, right? So you will come first, right? In the order of things, right? God, spouse, children.
Oh well, yeah, we're married. Yes,
That's
yes.
that.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
even if we're dating seriously enough to where I want them to respect you as just bonus mom, or however you negotiate that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I guess I'm just thinking in a realistic sense. When you
How
date
you
a
thinking?
guy, he's not going to put you first when you're getting to know. I mean, I'm assuming he's working. He has other things he have to take care of. Now he has 10 kids that he has to support, not just financially,
You just
but
don't see
given
yourself
that
in that equation like you would
That's
like.
just unrealistic talk anyway, because
Right.
if
It's
you
a
see a man with
hypothetical, but
10
still.
kids, but more than
The
likely,
reality
I
talk is what
ain't
throws
putting
me.
her. But so I understand the closed-minded comment. I thought about that for a minute. Yeah, if you're there and all of a sudden in the background you got 10, look, that's gonna be chaotic. I don't know if that's closed-minded. The more I think about it, but I do think you close yourself off to whatever that brings. Eddie Murphy got 10 kids. It makes a change. It makes a difference when it's somebody like that, though, because you mentioned working. Most people who got 10 kids that are responsible are not working anywhere and taking care of 10 kids. I don't care what you say. Most people like that, they who was it? Somebody that got a lot of kids, that would change the whole dynamic. But hey, that's another conversation. Yoga, I don't think you closed-minded.
Money talk.
All right. I'm
Miss
just
Jones is gonna say something, Doc, before we go.
Huh?
I think Miss Jones is gonna say something.
Oh no,
go ahead.
I was just agreeing with you.
I'm good.
I was just agreeing with you that it's the man and woman that needs to come first.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. Yes. All right, y'all. Listen. That's it.
Yolanda, with that, until next time.
Next time.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll wait. Hey, thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Thank you, Ballard. Thank you. We had a couple that didn't join. We thank everybody who had a part to do with this. And next week, we're going to come back with Gomer having to be brought off the prostitution block from her own husband in a relationship. I'm just joking. We ain't going to talk about that. I talk about that in Bible study. All right. Ta-da.
Talk about housewifery.
Y'all don't get off here.
I'm trying to understand.
Hey, don't forget to go to YouTube, subscribe, hit that bell. You got to hit that bell because when you hit that bell, then you'll be able to see all the notifications. Go to Facebook and hit like. Listen, thank you all for all your comments. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.